watching Morning at NTV.
Indeed, thank you for making us the #1 breakfast show in the country. In 2005, at the World Championships, right there in Finland, Dorcus Inzikuru, yes, ended Uganda's 33-year wait for an athletics world title, winning the inaugural women's 3,000 steeplechase event. Get this, in a time of 9 minutes, 18 seconds. Wow. At the time, the sixth best performance, I believe, Malaya. Inzikuru only became aware of the $60,000 prize after winning the final and vowed to use her money to build a house and to help other young athletes. Well, she became a national celebrity and her life would never be the same. Inzikuru grew up in Vura in Arua district, right there, the daughter of an Anglican priest. Her parents were both talented athletes but did not compete internationally. Well, today we have the double gold medalist to talk to us about life after medals in light of Uganda's gold medals at the World Athletics Championships by Joshua Cheptegei in the 10,000 meters and Halima Nakai in 800 meters. But before we get into that conversation, take a look at this clip. Yes.
Let's forget about those. Okay? Let's now boil for 2010 the Tokyo Games. So prepare your minds and your bodies. Don't relax. Because I know in Tokyo, the conditions are favoring us. We shall have more medals in Tokyo than Doha.
Well, in studio, we are now joined by Dorcus Inzikuru right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
First of all, Dorcus Inzikuru, I believe I'm asking this question for all the fans right there who are watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Where has Dorcus Inzikuru been? What have you been up to?
Thank you very much, Madam Dorcus Inzikuru, Mrs.
Yes.
I want to thank the fans, and you know, I still love the country,
Yes.
and also our fans too. Not only just being quiet, I've been busy
Indeed.
on the track, and also giving back to the community through a new club called Inzikuru Sports Academy. This is my legacy. I want to give back to the community through sports, targeting these young children, identifying the talents. You know, when you identify talents from grassroots, you find them, you can get more young Inzikurus. When we are now about to retire, and young Kibrotis and young Joshuas and young Halimas, this we found now, when all the ones are going off, the young ones also have to replace us. So that's the talent I've been identifying, and that's why I've not been quiet, but I've been very busy on the track.
Yeah.
And I want to thank all the parents who have given me their children, and these children, I've got so many of them in the central, the eastern, and also in northern.
All over the country?
Yeah, all over the country.
So how many young Inzikurus are we talking about?
The young Inzikurus, they are more than 500
Wow.
children.
Wow.
So
500
I've been
children.
targeting these schools and also having different coaches, and the activities we're handling is basketball, not only athletics, football for both boys and girls, then hockey, handball, badminton. So we have done so many activities. We're trying to empower these children.
Right.
Wow.
So we also target earlier senior secondary schools, which we have been giving the service to them since last term, and also White Angel primary schools, this Natanga Kundu Road side in Temi Road.
Such a big heart.
PG district. So yesterday I've just been to PG,
Right.
and having another program with the districts, how I can empower these different schools and these children, and those were also dropping out from school, so we have to target them. And also street kids.
Wow.
Because when I talk to them, do you want to become like Inzikuru? They say, yes, we want to become like Inzikuru. I say, that's well. Very soon I'm going to organize Inzikuru Marathon so that you can get more.
When will this Inzikuru Marathon be?
Very soon I'm going to open, but I'll wait you.
It's in the process.
It's in the process.
So what really prompted Miss Inzikuru to start this initiative? One would like to know.
It's a very good initiative because I don't want to go off with my name and that Inzikuru has won the medal and she's now in the forest, lost. So it's not good. So as being a celebrity, you must leave a legacy to the community. Indeed. How can you give back to the community?
And it was actually one of your promises when you won the 60,000 USD.
Yes.
Right.
That was the first thing, because when I prayed to God, God give me the strength and I want to give back to the community. How do I give? How do I start?
Okay.
So whom can I target? So those are the things which have been now, because you can't handle both works at a go. When I was still in the system for running, you find out you are under tension, always only to focus. How can you win a gold medal?
So Dorcas, you've done this
so
for...
you can't two things at your go. It's the same like taking two roads when you are at this junction. So you'll decide to take one road.
Right.
And then that one can be like...
Because you can't serve two masters.
So how many years now have you done this?
I've taken now like 3 years now.
3 years now.
3 years, wow.
With the team.
So
it's wonderful.
I want you to take us through the program in this particular sports academy. You've said that you're not just focusing on athletics, running. You have other sports there, basketball, badminton, you know, different facets are, you know, incorporated right there. But how is the programming like? Fine, I bring my 5-year-old or I get a group of street children, bring them to you. At what point do they exit to open up space for others?
Thank you. Now, you know, I have a program with the schools because every weekend we give that service, we deliver the service to those schools. Because like Monday to Friday, they are a little quite busy in the class, except only Tuesday. Sometimes we take twice per week, because Tuesday after the class, 4:40 p.m. So we have only maximum training program for 1 hour to give these children, and I make sure all the coaches has to give. They have to demonstrate or deliver the quality training to these children. And you find now since we have the partnership with these schools, we abide by the rules, we follow the schools rules. When they are ready, we come. That's where my team comes in very fast. And it's really very good. And very many people and many parents also enjoy what we're giving back to them.
And this is in the different regions within Uganda? How many regions are you in?
I've targeted Eastern region and the Central. And I'm also soon going to the Western. But the first week of this month, I've been to Buhenzu in Western District, and when I encourage the whole of Buhenzu District, so we are coming back. This is a nice place.
Right.
It's like Kapchora, it's high altitude, almost 2,200 meters above sea level. So it's very good for mountain climb, where we can get young Inzikurus and young Kibotis who can climb the mountains.
So that means that you have, you know, an authentic team working with you, a team of coaches as well.
Yes, we have a team of coaches who really deliver.
And this is patriotism 101, Mala, you must agree with me. And Ms. Inzikuru, in 2005 at the World Championships in Finland, you ended Uganda's 33-year-old wait for a world athletics title. Now, you didn't even know that there was a $60,000 prize.
No.
You only became aware after the final.
What I wanted is because you know, I was tired of standing for national anthem for other countries. Then I asked my coach, I said, Coach, you know, this is simple. How can I reach to win this gold medal? I think it's very possible. What do they eat? What does these Kenyans, Ethiopians, what is quite different apart from us as Ugandans? So I think I can win that.
So indeed you found out, and then you won?
Yes, I was really more aggressive. You know, training, you have to be more disciplined. You have to, the aggressive is not, doesn't mean that you become wild. No.
Wild and everything.
But aggressive is when I'm running, I create a distance. I do what I want. And I do what no one can expect.
Yes.
I really make sure I have to make my country proud. I have to make my coach.
So indeed you did surprise them.
So it was very good, and my coach was identifying so many different distances. Steeplechase is just a new event, but before I was running 5,000 meters. That's a 12 and a half laps, which Joshua was running before. Half of what Joshua won last
on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yes.
It is half of the distance. So
yes.
When my coach found that, he said, okay, I told my coach, I want to test every discipline so that I see where I can specialize. So when coach found now, from 100 meters to 3,000, here I have a lot of gas. But from there, now from 7,000 meters above, I can have, but finishing, you find I lose the what? The fuel.
Yes.
Right.
So we call it fuel. So once it's the same like a car. So when the car loses the fuel, it cannot
has
start.
to stop.
It has to stop. You
So
have to
discipline, and then you have to watch the
so
pace.
you have to watch the pace and the distance and training, because you have to be committed to the training.
And finally, you did win the gold. So tell us the experience of winning a gold medal at a world event. What changes? What's new? What changes?
World, beating the world, to be #1 in the world is a great thing, but it's not easy to reach the world.
Yes.
It takes time. Takes time to reach to the world. You can take 5 years without winning the medals, but you keep on changing. And then also breaking national records. You keep on, it's like building a house. So when you start the foundation very well, you find the house will go. You can reach to window level, you can reach to ring beam. Sometimes you get stuck, there's no money to finish the what? The roofing. Then you need to get some money for IOC. So the body is built like the what?
So how long did it take you, Dorcas?
From
when you started, from when you decided athletics is my thing?
1998, when I started coming to senior 1. So that's when I started with East Africa Youth Games. That's the first gold medal I won in Arusha. I said, wow, that's good. Then I was given a trophy. But I didn't know this trophy is meaning for what. But I took the trophy to home. I saw that. I don't know the meaning of this trophy. I said, no, this is the trophy that to show that you are #1 in East Africa. I said, East Africa? No. This is let me first work. But I want to be #1 in the world. Yes. So my father said, yes, it's possible. When you are serious, when you are good discipline, everything will be well. I will not be there, but go with faith. Strengthen your body. Be strict to the training. Discipline yourself. So when you carry that, carry love to people, respect them, take everybody as your own brothers and own yourself.
1998.
So it was wonderful. It was a wonderful performance.
And you didn't know that they were giving out any kind of accolade for you. The only point was I should be #1 in the world.
To be #1.
And there were rumors at that time that whenever athletes would win accolades, government would not give them their prize money. Is that true?
In fact, before
that, because athletes did not even know that there was a prize. So there were some rumors that government would keep keep a hold of this gold medal. I mean, they don't even know it exists, so we shall keep it to ourselves. Is it true, or was it just a rumor?
In fact, that was a very good question. That question came that they want to tax our money. Then we came up as athletes, and then I told them. When I met His Excellency, I said, Excellency, we suffer a lot. To reach here is not an easy work to win a gold medal. But these taxes we pay also in Europe. So once you pay the tax, then you come here home tax. So this money is less.
True.
So what can we have on our hand? And it will become less. So once you tax also here, it will be useless. Because our life, you will just be in the history. Oh, Dorcas won a gold medal, but where does the money went?
Because we've been wondering over the years. You win, there's prize money, a lot of money, $60,000 is a lot of money. But then our athletes would still be riddled in poverty.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you find that one was scrapped off from the government. The government, they don't tax this money. But
so how is the welfare of the athletes right now?
We only pay these taxes.
Are things moving on very well right now?
We still have the challenges for financial, because to bring up this child, being from nowhere, you are just upcoming an athlete. So still individuals, they are still facing some challenges of coming to the top level, or even to come to Nambole at national level. It's very difficult. But government, His Excellency, came up with a program. All these athletes, because it's a very good offer to us, all these athletes must also have to join the forces, this institution, like Wildlife Authority, Uganda Prison, then Uganda Police Force, and then the Army. So these 4 institutions, they really help these athletes so much.
All right.
From Eastern, from Central, then from Northern.
Right.
So it is national. It's really helping them, and I want to really thank the government for their great support. And all this one, they are really benefiting. At least it keeps them very busy, and also having hope for their training. Nambole, you can train wherever you are.
Right.
So it's really very good. But still, we still have challenges for this.
More has to be done.
More has to be done
for
the government to support these children.
Now, Dorcas, yesterday our two amazing, you know, flag bearers came back. We're having Joshua and you're also having Halima Nakai. You know, you've been consistent since when you actually made that decision, 1998. A majority of them, once they get to that, yes, and a majority of them, once they get to that, even just, you know, a regional accolade, once they get it, they back off. We never see them anymore. But for you, it's been different. So having gone that path, having walked that journey yourself, being consistent and now giving back to society, what did you tell the athletes now, especially now with the keen focus, now that the world is looking at Joshua and Halima? What did you tell them?
I think I was with them yesterday, so I was because right now they must concentrate for Olympic Games, because Olympic Games is the top, highest. Is where you are when Kiprotich won, you find that's the last event. You know, it has hierarchies, so it's like top management. So once you reach that level, you can retire, or you can do whatever you want, or you can come back now to give back to the community.
How about the discipline?
Current now,
right?
It's very difficult for any athlete who is top athlete to concentrate or to have two masters at your goal. It's very difficult because all time you have stress.
Right.
When sometimes the club has a problem, the challenges maybe financial, or maybe the injuries of these athletes, how do you treat them? Sometimes there's no doctors, so you find them psychologically, it affects you as a top athlete. You will not concentrate in training, so mentally you want to be able to manage both masters at your goal.
Dorcas, the other reason, right?
At the highest level.
Right.
Yeah.
The other reason as to why most of them actually just get lost once they, you know, start winning different prizes is because of the discipline factor.
Yeah, the discipline is paramount.
The money just, you know,
yes,
I don't know, messes up with their minds. So to
I've reached mentality.
Yes, I have reached mentality. So what has kept you grounded?
First of all, that's a very good question. You know, I took both decisions, both education and also sports.
Wow.
So these two, you can't serve at your goal. You also choose one, as I said. I chose the athletics first to win the gold medal. After winning gold medal, it's okay. This day, pick where I can stop. Let me now go back the route where I started from. So I was given a scholarship by His Excellency under State House scholarship for the study. So when I went back to school, I was able to identify, because I told him now, when I go back to school, I'll give back to the community, so that I'll be able to tap up these young Inzikurus, and then you will see how our performance is going. So it's not only going to be in eastern side, but we can get young Inzikurus here, Central, then Western, then Northern, wherever they are, and dropouts girls, and also training them, giving them some skills. And as this club, which I formed, because there are so many things. So for you, education played a major role in terms of grounding you. Education is very good, because it makes you to be a discipline and makes you to see the world. How can you handle? Because one, management, how do you manage these athletes? How do you become, as a young a mother, to counsel these young athletes? Because girls, they are very delicate, so you need to guide them in the right way. Right. And also girls, when you're a female coach, or maybe female mother, or matron to the team, you find them, you counsel them as a mother. It's very, very important. That's mostly Uganda athletics, mostly where we normally.
Yes, interesting fact, Mrs. Inzikuru. Education comes hand in hand with sports, which is not what we've been seeing a lot in Uganda. Many athletes do not have any regard for education. They believe, okay, if I have the talent will speak for me. Right. And I can see it has been different for you. What message do you have for those athletes who have no regard for education but believe, okay, I have the talent and that is enough for me?
Actually, most of these top celebrities, these athletes, Halima Nakai, also she was graduating last year, and also Joshua is Bugema University has a scholarship also there, that bursary, full bursary, and most of them, because as I said, this activity, athletics, targeting to win a gold medal, you must commit yourself first, but education will come
because
after.
we had them in school and they were under some kind of sponsorship.
Yeah, the
but then most of these had for the athletes, yes, especially secondary level.
Yes,
but then most of these athletes were adamant to continue their education, saying that for them, for me, it's the professional life. Once I'm done with maybe senior 6, I'm just going to branch off professional athletics and all that. Do you think it's a wise move?
In fact, it's a very good question.
Yes.
You know. Now it depends with somebody is what after time maybe what he thinks. If he thinks, okay, this money is $60,000 US. If I work hard, I'll be able to collect every month or maybe every year. I can stabilize my life there. It is okay. It depends with the person. Now, after now time, you know. How do you come up with a program, or because there are so many young athletes who will come to you, you know what, I want is coach, I want this, coach, I want this, you know, because now when you look at these children, you find out you can't refuse to help them, because we know the challenges of, we pass through that experience. So you find it's very important, as I advise my colleagues, after when they now going back to retirement.
So let's focus on Joshua Cheptegei and Ms. Nakai. Do you think athletes are getting enough help to cope with the success that comes after winning gold?
Currently now, because most of them, they are under sponsorship. It's very good, because there are so many sponsors which have come to Uganda. All these managers who come also to Uganda Athletics Federation, they give them the operating balances, how they can identify these talents to these athletes to go to Europe. So it's a very good initiative which they have done, and also government and also National Council of Sports and also Uganda Athletics Federation, they have done a great job for us. And also I want also to give also a great thanks to my coaches from grassroots. That is my teacher who is from grassroots, Mr. Azira. Nobody knew him was from grassroots. That was when I was in P2, in the village there, and then he brought me to Arua. After Arua, and then he handed me to Mr. Gama Sam, that is also in Arua. He's one of the great coach. These are wonderful people. When I reached to Arua, when I came to Kampala, he handed over me to Dr. Flavio, the Italian. So together with the General Secretary, Beatrice Aikoro, these are the great parents who really supported me. Then from there, I went ahead. So they handed over me to the senior coach, who is Renato Canova, who came only 2017 here for World Cross Country. So he used to promise, you know, Dorcus, if you win one gold medal, I'll come to Uganda. If you win one, I'll come to Uganda. So I always say, but coach, when do you come to Uganda? Because my people need to see what you have done for me.
So Dorcus, what you're saying is that for you,
a great support from all these people. That's when I was able to achieve all these goals. And I could just come to Kampala. Oh, Dorcas has won the gold, but how did she win this gold? Who is behind this?
Now, Dorcas, let me ask you this question.
Who is behind Dorcas Inzikuru?
I was never been here in Uganda, and mostly I'm outside. Then I come only 2 days. And when the government, His Excellency, I welcome me to airport, to the State House. I finished, then in the evening I disappear back to Europe. So
Dorcas, that is a very interesting.
That was a great support behind
it's
that.
It's a very interesting issue.
So
meaning, even if despite the fact that Dorcas is very, very talented, she wouldn't have made it where she is if she didn't have the support that she received. Now I'm looking at that primary 2 Arua chap right there in Arua who doesn't have any tools, loves football, loves to run, but doesn't have any tools. How best can our government enable this 8-year-old right there in primary 2 to become just like Dorcus Inzikuru?
It's a very good question. You know, the current now government has program to tap these children. Every district.
Every district.
From Ministry of Education and Sports, that program is there. Identify this young talent, because primary school, they always the first term of the year, they normally have competitions, and this year I was in Cabrole, and we were able to get a very good result from these young girls and the boys. They really performed well. For secondary schools, it was in Soroti, which I missed. I didn't go because I was caught up with another program, and they are really performing well. So when I saw the statistics of all the sports, I found athletics is leading. Now it's the most leading, more marketed
sport.
Uganda sport in the world. And also football, and I want to also thank the Crane team who really did wonderful to us.
Yes.
And also under 20 years or so, they also did the car just recently bringing us the trophy. I'm very happy. I'm really proud of that.
All right, Dorcus,
so
now, yes.
This athletics should not only market Uganda alone, but there's other sports.
Yes.
Wherever we need to come up. And the coaches who are already qualified, they should not hide their papers and put in the wardrobe.
Yes.
That I've qualified, if FIFA calls you, but you find the paper is done and he's doing nothing.
Okay,
so if that one is not straight,
I like that.
Back to the, but you must be on the road. You have to go and identify that young talents from the grassroots. That's where you cannot pick from the top cream, but you don't know where it has come from.
Start from beneath,
right? So it's always difficult. You find this. Oh, I was the coach. I was this. It's always.
She's really right, Mala. As is tradition in Uganda, it's like. The doctor waits for the patient. The doctor doesn't go to the patient. And as it is, the doctor should go looking for these patients where they want to give them help.
Speaking of this particular growth of athletes in Uganda, of course, you do know that the Uganda Athletics Federation has done quite a bit. But let's talk about doping.
Yes.
Discipline. Discipline. As you are in that particular phase. I remember the IAF actually came through very strongly saying that these cases are on the increase and we have to do something. Now all the countries have to oblige to our rules and standards with regards to doping. Athletes, even here in Uganda, were undertaking through this particular test just to ensure that they're also clean and free of this. Talk to us about discipline in this field and how important it is and why we are having, a few athletes here and there being, lured or enticed to go the other route and not sticking it clean.
Thank you very much. Doping is something which is not good for any top celebrities. Because our regime, when you run, you really know that this person has no doping, drugs in the body. Because these things sometimes, for these athletes, because some, they want to become rich very fast, you find them, okay, let me use these drugs, I think it can improve my performance. But that's very wrong. And most of these athletes in Uganda here, I always advise them, make sure you are clean and the urine is clean. And I don't want to hear that Uganda, these athletes have been doped positive, that Uganda is going to be, the image will be down.
But where is the pressure coming from? Why are many choosing that route?
The peer group, the peer pressure, and say, okay, you see, if I do this, it's okay, but it is you to choose which one is correct. And if you really follow the discipline very well, because we have a team for this wild and doping WADA group, and last year we have been to East Africa University Games, and when I took MUB's team, many of them performed well, and we have doping, and we carried this message to the doping doctors team, Dr. Christopher, Chris, and then we were able to identify all these messages to every universities in East Africa to be aware that doping is not correct for the athletes, and they should not use the drugs, because these drugs, within 2 years, you can win very well, but after 2 years,
you're down.
You are right down. It will cause a lot of infection. You can get TB. You can get so many things. You find out all these immunity system in your body will begin to weaken yourself.
Correct.
And anyway, with the strain, you can end up finishing that money for treatment. And this treatment will even never go over. The last thing, you will just go 7 feet.
Right.
And that's the end of your life. You'll just die. So, which is not good. And I advise most of them, be clean and run well. What is very important is the training. Are you committed in the training? Are you disciplined with that training? Right. If coach say, okay, training today, we have to do 3 times per day, like the way I used to do, 3 times per day, morning from 5 up to 7. Then they give you a rest of 20 minutes. You come and take your breakfast. You rest.
Just do it
9.
clean, right?
Yes,
make sure that you follow the program.
Yes, you follow the program, but training with a big volume. Now, training is very, very important. If you train 6 to 7 months and you come to compete this event,
you cannot fail.
You cannot fail.
Dorcas, the reason as to why many actually, them that are found guilty or on the side of doping, of course testing positive, they always say that, but I'm struggling financially and I was lured to get into this because I want to get this money. I want to get this award and, you know, improve not just my life, but the life of the people around me, my family, friends, and relative, you know. So let's talk about the business of athletics. Number one, does it pay? Number two, what's the, you know, ecosystem therein? Okay, you said that from 1998 you got into the field, but would you say from that point in time to when you actually got your first gold medal, were you a happy athlete in terms of your finances? Were you okay? And what more can be done to make sure that athletes actually do earn an income and they're comfortable financially, such that they're not lured to all this other, you know, negativities?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, because when you're junior, there's a category of payment, because when you're above now 20 years and running these events, there's always IWF pay this money. But juniors, they don't pay, because juniors, when you win the medal, is very good. It's a very big celebration, and it's a good performance. But my life was quite different, because I didn't look at money, but I look at the performance. If I win the gold medal today, what is the next? Because I have to ask my coach, where's the next question program? So he said, if next week is like this, okay, that's very good. The really aim was, how can I reach to the top? Because this Usain Bolt, Marion Jones, all these other top athletes, they have been reaching to that level. But I didn't look at the money first. But I was aiming first, my motherland, my own country.
So at what point did you at what point did you start earning?
When it was this is senior level, because when you win
after Finland,
you'll find out you're able to get something. You get me? But before, you need the support from your sponsors or support from other guidance, and whereby they can support you and guide you so that you become a champion.
So what happens if someone doesn't get a sponsor? Do you think that's a phenomenon that ought to change?
It is very difficult when you don't have sponsor or maybe support from somewhere. It's really very difficult for this athlete to come up, because once, if you don't have shoes, you need to have your shoes, you need to have spikes, you need to have uniforms, you know. So mostly you can run with all the shoes there, train at home, but you need to come and show yourself, expose yourself to the national, like let me say Nambole.
Right.
Then if now district if you run there at home and you are qualified for district, then the district brings you for national championship, and there you need to show your strength.
So as it stands, it's personal initiative. You need to push yourself.
You need to push yourself, and you also be always confident and positive. Never think negatively. Because once mentally you're negative, you will never perform.
Positivity is very key.
Positivity is very, very key for everyone.
And the athletes have to be clean.
And athletes has to be very
So, Ms. Dorcus Inzikuru, I'm looking at this athlete. This athlete is totally clean. Nothing in their system. But according to biology, this athlete has higher testosterone levels, meaning this female athlete could ideally be a man in the making because of the testosterone levels. So I'm talking about Caster Semenya. She was subjected to sex testing. Now, do you think there's some kind of discrimination in our sports, in the sports industry all over the world?
Thank you very much. That one question, you know, that's a very technical question whereby I cannot go very deep.
You cannot go very deep, but it can happen to our athletes right here in the country, where you have you're female, but you have high testosterone levels. So the white people came out and said, no, ideally Semenya is a man. That's why she's winning all these races. Many came out and said this is discriminative, maybe on their part. Do you agree?
Mostly, I think as the technical team is the one handle that, and they will have the world and doping doctors team and international.
High testosterone levels? That is natural. How is it doping?
I know it's natural, but it's a technical issue, and whereby I said I cannot go deep for that. It is they will be the one to decide how can we help these athletes to be in the community, let me say now, because we have this industry for sports. So it's not us, no Inzikuru to select that. It's very wrong, or maybe it is discrimination. No, it's a technical issue, and whereby I cannot go deep.
Okay, it's a technical issue, and you're willing to go into that deep end. So anyway, let's talk about racism overall. While you go to these international bouts, do you ever experience any kind of racism meted out against you or any other athlete that you know? In a nutshell, as a wrap-up.
For me personally, I didn't have, but mostly I was loved by the world, because whenever I come for my event and there is any advert, maybe in Europe or these other trials we have been running. The
You'll
Grand
be
Prix,
given.
the Diamond League. Before it used to say we used to have Golden League. It's current now. They have changed to Diamond League. So whenever I used to go for these meetings, you find now the crowds, the Ugandans who are already there outside, you find they really feel proud because I have to pass the messages and message. Please, Inji is running. You know, gold medalist is running. Please come and support me. I need that chair, and when I have them, I always feel proud and do my best. And most, you know, breaking 15 records is not an easy thing. So I'm really proud of the support. The fans made. They are not only Ugandans alone, but the whole world. And also Kenya, because I was also training their country. They took me as their own daughter, so I was very happy.
Wow.
That's why
Talk about Pan-Africanism.
This Pan-Africanism was very good. That's why you find Kibrotis is always training Kenya, and some other athletes who are also there.
And sometimes he's mistaken to be Kenyan. Anyway, Dorcus Inzikuru, thank you for having made the time to come speak to NTV. It's been wonderful.
I want to now give to the...
And thank you for maintaining the patriotism.
The parents, please, because these children, they have talents. But you find some parents, they say, oh, you see, my child cannot do this, you know, you'll be broken. No, you waste your time for you need to concentrate for books. You want to become an engineer, you have to become a doctor.
Support them.
Yes.
But parents should not stop their children, because children used to be exposed. And after exposure, you find this child will grow and develop her talent. Will become a champion. Well, and that's only the message I want to carry to pass to the community, and whereby and my colleagues, the Halimas, Joshua's, they should maintain the spirit. And more who didn't get the medals, they should never give up. Always hope highly.
Hope highly.
Never give up. Do not have the average mentality. Those are the words of Dorcus Inzikuru. She's been gracing our studios to let us know the overall athletics. How are we doing? Where are we headed? And she has made her point pretty clearly. Parents, please do your part. Don't stop your kids from enjoying what they want to do. If the kid wants to do sports, football, be it whatever, support them, but while encouraging them to do to go ahead with their education. So education and sports move hand in hand. That's the main focus of this conversation right here on Morning at NTV right about now. We would like to have the traffic update. We understand you're at home, and maybe if you haven't left your house, you're